What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about how to be attentive to your man's needs. As you all know, I recently just gave people an opportunity to give me the video ideas for this month, and this is one of the questions: how to be attentive to a man's needs. She actually put a lot of relationship questions together, and I want to release a lot of relationship content videos. I know I do a lot of dating content videos, but I actually like talking about relationships, and I do coach couples, so it is well within my reach to do so. The problem is, most of the time when I do relationship videos, those videos flop. Like, they don't get a lot of support. YouTube doesn't know what to do with them because YouTube, for whatever reason, has separated the idea of dating coach versus relationship coach. So YouTube doesn't promote them very much. My subscribers just don't support them or watch them very much. I don't know why. So they basically flop, and that kind of plays with my motivation to make videos. So I want to keep myself motivated, so I really only try to do content that people support, just because for the most part it seems like the most important, the most impactful videos I do seem to be of mature subject matters, but they're also the least watched, right? So the videos I put the most thought in, the most effort, the videos I care the most about, they get the least views. They're less viral because they're just wise advice and not something that triggers people. So that kind of plays with me. Again, you know, like, I'm human. So if I have a video that flop, it bothers me. I know I'm not supposed to care, but I care. I care about everything. I care about my subscribers. I definitely care about my clients, and I care that my words aren't being wasted or my time isn't being wasted. And so sometimes it throws me off. So I don't do a lot of relationship videos because I just don't get the love back from relationship videos, but I know people still need them, and so I'm going to do them for the people who need them, who support my channel. Anyway, back to the question. The question was, what was the question? How to be attentive to a man's needs, or her man's needs, a man's needs. I think the first thing that you want to do when you're trying to figure out how to be attentive to a man's needs is get clear about what his needs are. Too often I meet women who know what their needs are, right? And, you know, the old adage is treat others like you want to be treated. It's actually terrible advice. I mean, I guess to a degree it's good advice, but in relationships you have to treat people how they want to be treated, right? Treat people how they receive love. And so sometimes a man's needs might be different from your needs. And so if you're giving a man your needs, you might think that you're loving him hard, you're loving him intentionally, you're doing a really good job, and you're being attentive to his needs, when really you're just being attentive to what your needs would be if you were dating yourself, right? So that's a huge issue, because a lot of times when we're loving someone, or we think we're loving someone, they don't feel so loved, right? They're a little bit resentful. They're growing irritated or frustrated in a relationship. The relationship's going cold for them. They're losing enthusiasm and or hope that you can attend to their needs or fulfill them in this relationship, because you're actually in a relationship with yourself. You're serving yourself through them, right? You're doing everything that you care about, and you're thinking that you should get credit for it. What they don't feel the love, because that's not things that, you know, they care about, or those aren't things that they feel. Those aren't things that impact them or touch them, right? So that's a big thing. Figure out what they need and how it differs from what you need, and give them what they need to feel loved, not what you would need to feel loved by you. I'll give you an example. Like, you know, for a lot of women, you know, cooking and cleaning and acts of service around the home, or like, that's a love language. When a guy does that stuff, they really feel it, like, emotionally, right? They feel it sexually. Like, it can be exciting, it could be arousing, energetically, sexually, or otherwise, right? So some women love that, they prioritize it, and so when they do it, they think that their man is supposed to appreciate it in the same way that they would if he was to help out around the house, or if he was to do these chores, right? And it just doesn't do that. A man might walk into the house, notice it's clean, be appreciative, but that's something that doesn't really touch him. That doesn't make him feel, you know, anything, right? He might be non-responsive to that, outside of being appreciative that you did it, or, you know, liking the way the house looks. It doesn't do what it does for you, for him, because you have different needs, right? Sometimes a man's need might be support, or, you know, cooperation, or respect, right? Or just talk to him in a respectful manner, or in a manner that he finds to be gentle, right? People have different needs, right? Whether they're words of affirmations, gifts, acts of service, physical touch. Like, people feel love differently. The first thing you want to do is get very clear on what makes your man feel loved. That way you can attend to those things, right? You cannot attend to the needs that you don't understand or you don't know about. Right. So have a conversation, ask him, what do you really need? Like, when you fantasized about love and marriage and relationships, what was the fantasy? What was happening in that relationship? What was that woman doing for you? What was the thing that she was providing for you in the relationship? What specific things were happening? What specific things was she doing? Figure out exactly what your man's needs are so that you can equip yourself with that knowledge and be able to attend to them. Don't assume. Stop making assumptions about what a man needs. And he should be doing the same for you. This goes both ways, but women are my audience. So I'm always addressing it from that point of view, speaking to them. But if you're a man, this goes both ways. Figure out exactly what your partner needs and how your partner receives love. Not how you receive love, but how they do. Sometimes a good listening session goes a long way, right? Now, some of you have partners that have trouble communicating their needs, right? And that can't be pressed on your shoulders, right? Everything can't be about you trying to crack the code, figure them out, think for them, and be great in the absence of information. But those of you who have partners that can communicate and speak for themselves well enough, it's really just about asking more questions. What could I do better? What would you like me to do more of? If you could change anything about the way I show up in this relationship, what would it be? Is there anything you're missing in this relationship from me that I have the capacity to do, or that you believe that I have the capacity to do? Sometimes asking for criticism is one of the best ways to figure out what a person needs from you, because we all have things we're not getting in our relationships. We all have things that we're unhappy about. We all have things that we could do better or receive better from our partners. I learned a long time ago in a leadership program I was in at my job to ask for criticism to increase your relationship health in your professional relationships and your family dynamics and otherwise. Ask for criticism. Create a safe space for a person to criticize you or to critique you without you being offended or emotional. Just accepting what's said and figuring out what, if anything, you can do about it. Maybe he needs you to initiate more. Maybe he needs you to listen a little bit more. Maybe he needs you to be a little bit more emotionally stable, and that might take some counseling. I don't know what your man's needs are specifically, but he does. And the only way that you're going to get them is if you ask and if you force the issue. Sometimes you can phrase the question not by what would you change about me, but in a perfect world, in a perfect relationship, what would we be doing? In a perfect relationship, how would I be acting? In a perfect relationship, how would things be? There are a lot of ways to get the question asked so that you can equip yourself. A lot of times men don't share what's wrong with them. They don't share what needs aren't being met because they've lost hope in your ability to fulfill them or your willingness to fulfill them. So if he's slow to ask him if he's lost help in your ability to evolve or to grow. Ask if he believes that you are actually capable or willing to change. You may find out that he's lost hope and grown in resentment towards you because he hasn't been getting needs met. I would much rather your woman's intuition go toward figuring out if your relationship is healthy or your partner is happy than trying to search his phone and chase him down in internet chat rooms. It's funny, a woman's intuition always tells her when something's wrong, when a guy's cheating, but it never tells her when a guy's unhappy. It's weird like that. Or when a guy's feeling unloved or resentful toward her. When a guy needs to be loved better, when a guy needs his needs met or aren't getting them met. And even when a lot of women know they're not meeting a man's needs, their resentment for him and whatever he's not doing stops them from making an effort to be better. Because who wants to be better for someone who's not being better for them? It becomes a power struggle of who can give the best minimal effort and stay in place. But then we're disappointed when we don't get the best from our partners. You feel stupid being your best for someone who doesn't appear to care about what's best for you. Some couples need counseling before they can even start to ask the types of questions that will require the vulnerability to listen to the answer to. Criticism is hard to listen to from someone you're unhappy with, someone you're disenchanted with. Criticism is hard to ask for of a person that you believe that you're doing more than. Sometimes we don't really want to be our best and show up for our partners because we have lost faith in them and their ability or willingness to be their best. So ask yourself if that's really a problem in your relationship too. But to make a long story short, to cater to a man's needs isn't to cater to just any man's needs. It's to cater to your specific man. And you have to figure out what those needs are. And so you have to have a lot of conversations and do a lot of observation. Figure out what he responds emotionally to and give him more of that. Don't call it criticism. Ask for feedback and create a safe space where he can say whatever he needs to say without you being more offended that he said something or focusing on how mad you are that he thinks that. This is not an opportunity to defend yourself. It's an opportunity to learn, to listen, to gain some perspective. And with that perspective, show him that you heard him by making an attempt to change and evolve. Within reason, of course. This is also an opportunity for him to learn more about your needs unmet. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I hope this helps. Follow me at KFIC24 on Instagram. If you're in a relationship and you need coaching and you're trying to figure out how to meet your partner's needs, but for whatever reason you're falling flat, I do offer couples coaching sessions as well as single sessions to help people save and maintain their relationships. So go to girltalkwithguys.com if you need that. Share my videos if you think they're helpful. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those things. I'll get with y'all later.